thinking about buying an electronic drum kit, but your wallet just started crying and ran into the other room. And you're looking at the Roland TD-02K, a seemingly great beginner kit, but you need to know if it's worth the extra cash over the super budget options. N today, I'm going to show you the one secret this kit hides that no one mentions, the decision that will save you hundreds or cost you years of frustration. N, but here's what surprised me. This isn't just a beginner kit. N, therefore, the real question isn't if you should buy it, but if you should buy it instead of something that costs twice as much. N, for the best price, click the link in the description. N, okay, let's break this down because you're probably staring at a screen full of specs, feeling like you need a degree in acoustic engineering to understand them. I've been there. You want to make noise without making your neighbors want to make you disappear. You want something that feels real, sounds real, and doesn't require a second mortgage. The TD-02K promises all that. It comes from Roland, the absolute king of electronic drums. That name carries weight and a price tag to match, so you're right to ask, is it worth it? Are we paying for the badge, or are we getting something truly special? But I assembled this thing, I played it for weeks, and I found something lurking in the manual that changes everything. Therefore, buckle up. N, let's start with the biggest promise, the feel. This kit uses Roland's legendary mesh head on the snare. That's a big deal. If you've ever tapped on a rubber pad, you know it feels like hitting a cafeteria tray. It's bouncy, it's loud, it's sad. A mesh head has give, it rebounds. It feels shockingly like a real drum skin. The TD-02K gives you that on the snare drum, but here's the first twist. The tom pads are not mesh. They're what Roland calls compact drum pads. They're rubber. Therefore, immediately, we have a split personality. Your snare will feel premium, your toms will feel, well, like good rubber pads. Is that a deal-breaker? For a true beginner, probably not. Your focus is on the snare anyway for most basic beats. But it's a clear line Roland has drawn to hit a price point. It's like getting a sports car with leather seats, but vinyl doors. Okay, maybe that joke fell flatter than a drum head with no tension. The point is, you feel the difference. Now, what about the sound? This is where the curiosity loop tightens. The module, the brain of the kit, is the TD-02. It has 15 preset kits. That might sound low compared to modules with hundreds, but Roland's philosophy is quality over quantity. These are meticulously sampled sounds from their top-tier V-drums. The acoustic drum sounds, especially the roomy rock kits, are fantastic. The cymbals have convincing swells and decays. But here's the surprise no one talks about, the built-in coaching functions. N, therefore, let's talk about your silent judging teacher. The module has a feature called Coach Mode. It's not just a metronome that makes you feel inadequate. It has games, timing check where you play along with a steady click. You get a score, it's humbling. There's random play where it throws notes at you to improve your reading. And my favorite, the quiet killer, interval check. It plays 2 notes and you have to play them back with the exact same time between them. It exposes how inconsistent your internal clock is. I thought I had solid time until this mode showed me my rhythm was looser than a joke at a corporate retreat. It's incredibly valuable for a beginner. You're not just hitting pads, you're actively training. This is massive hidden value, but we need to address the cymbal pads in the room. You get 3, a hi-hat, a crash, and a ride. They're single zone, meaning you can only hit one spot for one sound. The ride cymbal, for example, can't do a bell sound versus a bow sound. That's a limitation. On a real kit or more expensive e-kits, you get that versatility. Therefore, your musical expression is capped. If you're dreaming of complex jazz rides or intricate metal patterns, you'll bump into this ceiling fast. It's designed for rock, pop, and foundational practice. Is that enough? For year one, absolutely. But it's a therefore moment. This kit will eventually make you want to upgrade. But is that a bad thing? Not necessarily. It's a fantastic launchpad. Now the build. The rack is the sturdy, iconic Roland square frame design. It's not flimsy. It wobbles a bit if you're going full animal from the Muppets, but for normal playing, it's solid. Assembly is straightforward, though you will need a drum key to tension the snare head. It's not included, which is a minor annoyance, like buying a car and them forgetting the key. But they tell you to use a drum key. Pro tip, you can use a sturdy Allen wrench in a pinch. Setting up the sensitivity is crucial. The default settings are okay, but dive into the module. You can adjust how hard you need to hit to get a loud sound, threshold, and how the volume scales with your force curve. This is vital. Set it right and the kit responds to your dynamics. Set it wrong and you'll be playing fortissimo all the time or ghost notes won't register. Therefore, spend 15 minutes tweaking. It transforms the experience. Let's hit the deep dive with connectivity. You have a USB port. This is a game changer. You can connect directly to a computer via USB cable and use it as a MIDI controller. That means you can use software like GarageBand, Ableton, or Superior Drummer 3. Suddenly, the sounds in the module don't matter as much. You have access to infinite, studio-quality drum sounds. The kit becomes a trigger for a $200 software package that sounds monstrous. This is the secret weapon. Therefore, that limitation on cymbal zones. In software, you can often assign different sounds to the same pad based on velocity or use a plugin that supports multiple zones on a single input. It's a workaround. You also have a standard headphone jack for silent practice and an aux-in to play along with music from your phone. But here's the contrarian snapback I promised at the start. Everyone reviews this as a beginner kit. I'm telling you, it's a brilliant studio tool for songwriters on a budget. The footprint is small. The noise is minimal, just the tap of sticks on pads and the kick pedal thump. You can have it set up in a corner, always ready. Connect it to your laptop, load a drum plugin, and you're recording perfect drum tracks without mics, without soundproofing, without a drummer who's always late because of traffic. I know, drummers, I'm joking. Some of you have cars. Therefore, its value proposition shifts dramatically if you see it as an input device, not just a self-contained instrument. But let's get back to the core question. Is it worth the extra money? Compared to a $300 no-name Amazon special? Absolutely. The build quality, the reliability of Roland's triggering, the resale value, and the access to that coach mode make it worth every extra penny. You're buying an ecosystem and a reputation for things that don't break. Compared to the next step up, the Roland TD-07K, it's a tougher call. The TD-07 has a better module, more sounds, and more expandability, but it costs more. Therefore, the TD-02K sits in a sweet spot of just enough for a serious beginner. It's the kit that says, I'm not a toy, but I'm not a mortgage payment either. It's the drummer's equivalent of a reliable hatchback. It won't win a drag race, but it'll get you to work every day for a decade. Want to know the part that made me laugh? The hi-hat pedal. It's a simple on-off switch. It works fine for open and closed sounds, but trying to do a slightly open, sizzly hi-hat sound requires precise pressure that feels like you're trying to crack a safe with your foot. It's a skill in itself. They should include a lesson called hi-hat yoga, finding your kai in a binary pedal. Therefore, manage your expectations. You get good, usable hi-hat sounds, but not the nuanced expression of a high-end setup. The kick drum pad is a good size and responds well. The beater it comes with is fine, but consider a felt beater if you're worried about wear or use the plastic side. Noise-wise, the kick is the loudest part. A tennis ball riser or a dedicated noise eater pad is a good investment for apartment dwellers. Otherwise, your downstairs neighbor might start practicing their drum solos on your ceiling. But after all this, what's the final verdict? Therefore, let's resolve this. Is the Roland TD-02K worth the extra money? If you are a complete beginner who wants a quality, frustration-free start that will last for years and actually teach you, yes. If you are a songwriter needing a compact, reliable MIDI controller for your home studio, double yes. If you are an intermediate player looking for your main practice kit, you might feel the limitations too quickly. Therefore, the value is not just in the pads and sounds. It's in the confidence that it will work, the structural integrity that won't collapse, and the gateway it provides to a world of software sounds. It's an investment in a hobby you can grow with. It's the kit that says, I'm taking this seriously, without screaming, I took out a loan. So, should you click that link, if you've made it this far, your curiosity has been piqued. You know the surprises, the strengths, and the compromises. You're armed with the knowledge that the mesh snare is a joy, the coach mode is a secret weapon, and the USB port is your ticket to a universe of sounds. Therefore, the only thing left is to secure yours at the best possible price. For the absolute best deal on the Roland TD-02K on Amazon right now, click the link in the description below. You'll be supporting the channel at no extra cost to you, and you'll be one step closer to that first, satisfying crack of the snare. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have to go apologize to my neighbors. I think I finally nailed that hi-hat sizzle.